Hello everyone, welcome to Chem Analysis. Today I will discuss about a very interesting and important chapter which is known as epoxidation and epoxide ring opening. Here I want to mention that previously I have uploaded one video on the same topic, but to make the video shorter I have discussed only about formation of epoxide from a olefin and the mechanism of epoxide ring opening. So here I will make a dedicated video on this topic with the previous basic concepts of epoxide ring formation and epoxide ring opening, along with many other interesting and important information. That is, it will be a updated video of epoxidation and epoxide ring opening. So without wasting any time, so let's start this topic. Now a epoxide can be formed from a olefin using a per acid, that is aromatic per acid, it is MCPBA, or aliphatic per acid, that is CH3CO3H, and it can convert the olefin to its corresponding epoxide, and the oxygen can be attached with this olefin from above the plane, then two hydrogen atom will be below the plane, or similarly oxygen can attach from below the plane and two hydrogen atom will be above the plane. Okay, MCPBA, the structure I am drawing during showing the mechanism. Now what is the mechanism? It is olefin, and MCPBA we can write it is a aromatic per acid, 1,2,3 metachloroperbenzoic acid. Now there is two lone pair electron. This OH bond will break in this way, then oxygen atom will get anion, it will attack this olefin, and olefinic double bond will open up and will attack the same oxygen, and this oxygen bond will break in this way and will make double bond here. This carbon oxygen double bond will open up, will be anion, and this anion will abstract this proton, hydrogen atom. So what will be the final product? You can see that oxygen atom will attach with the olefin from only one phase, either above phase or below phase. That is, it is a concerted sign addition of oxygen atom. So the product will be, the oxygen will attach either above the plane or below the plane. Both cases is possible in this case, since there is no substituent within the ring, and the remaining product will be, here you can see that it will be acid, 1, 2, 3 3-chlorobenzoic acid and the epoxide. We can prepare epoxide from a olefin through another mechanism, that first bromination. Here I want to mention that here the temperature is generally 0 degree centigrade and solvent is DCM. Here you can also use DCM as a solvent, and temperature is lower temperature, that is 0 degree centigrade. First it will brominate, first it will form a bromonium ion with the olefin, and this bromonium ion can be formed either from above the plane or from below the plane. Now if we treat this bromonium ion with a base, then the base will attack from opposite face of the bromonium ion and it will open up the bromonium ion. If bromonium ion is formed from above the plane, the OH will attack from below the plane. In the next step, since base is present within the medium, it will abstract a proton it will get anion. Since after abstraction it will this OH bond will break and it will become anion. That anion can attack at this CBr bond and it will eliminate the Br minus by SN2 mechanism, and the formed epoxide will be like this. Since bromonium ion is formed from above the plane, if we draw it like it is above the plane, then the OH will attack from below the plane, and in the final epoxide the 3-member ring will be from below the plane. So is it okay? Now the question is that how one can say that this oxygen is transferring to the olefin to form the epoxide. Now to confirm this, we can perform labeling experiment. What is this labeling experiment? Now if you perform the epoxidation reaction with taking a per acid which contain O18 isotopes of oxygen, that is O18 isotope of oxygen, and you have to perform another experiment where the O18 will be this oxygen atom. You can prepare such per acid in laboratory using the method for preparation of such per acid and taking one of the reagent as O18 labeled. Now if you perform these two reaction, you can, and if you analyze the product, you can see that for in this case the formed epoxide will contain the oxygen which is O18 labeled, and the corresponding acid will not be O18 labeled. You can take this compound in HRMS spectrum. Since it is O18, there will be 2 mass unit higher in mass spectrum than O16. On the other hand, for this reaction you will get the epoxide which will not be O18 labeled, and the corresponding acid you will get will be O18 labeled. Now when we use this per acid, we are getting the epoxide containing O18 atom, and in the per acid we can see that the terminal OH group containing O18 labeled oxygen atom. That means we can say that this oxygen is transferring to the olefin, and in this case, since this we are assuming that this oxygen is transferring, and we are confirmed from the obtained product that since there is no O18 labeled product, so we can say that this oxygen is not transferring, and this is the atom that is transferring to the olefin. Is it okay? Now since the epoxidation of olefin occurs through a concerted sign addition, if we perform the reaction with a cis olefin and we treat it with MCPBA in DCM solvent at 0 degree centigrade, we will get cis epoxide. And if we treat a trans olefin, then we will end up with trans epoxide. Since this is a concerted addition of oxygen atom, cis starting material will give the cis product, and trans isomer will give the trans product. So what can we say? This is stereospecific or stereoselective. Now to confirm this, we have to first know what is stereospecific reaction, what is stereoselective reaction. Stereospecific reaction generally deals with the stereochemistry of the reactant. That is, from one stereochemistry, that is from cis isomer of the reagent, it will give either cis product or trans product. The formed product will depend on the stereochemistry of the reagent. It is the case for stereospecific reaction. It is specific. That means we can say that stereochemically one reactant will give stereochemically only one product. Cis will give either cis or trans. But in case of stereoselective reaction, cis stereoisomer of the reactant will give both cis and trans product. I am just saying as for example, the cis isomer will give both cis and trans product, but one of these two will be in major amount. That is, there is a chance of major and minor isomer. That means one will be formed in excess amount to the other isomer. This is for selective case. Now, in this example, we can see that cis isomer will always give cis epoxide and trans isomer of the olefin will always give trans epoxide. So from this reaction we can say that this is a stereospecific reaction. But if you perform the olefination for such non-bonding system, you will get two products, where one epoxide will form by attack from the exo side of this olefin, and another product will be observed which will be formed from the endo side of the olefin. Now in this case, since exo side is less hindered, so exo product will be observed as major product, and due to endo attack, since you can think that this is like this, as like this, and you have to, for endo attack, you have to approach the paracid from this end, and for this approach the paracid will feel steric repulsion with the hydrogen atom, since the hydrogen atoms are axially oriented, and it is sterically crowded attack, and so the large size MCPBA will not favor this attack, and the endo product corresponding to endo attack will be observed as minor isomer. Here we can see that for epoxidation of such system, there is possibility of two isomer, and one is forming as a major product and other is forming as a minor product. That means we can say that it is stereoselective type reaction. So we can say that depending on the geometry of the product and considering the steric factor and many other things, the epoxidation reaction can be sometimes stereospecific or stereoselective. Both is possible. Now here one thing I want to mention, that if you want to prepare the endo product as a major product, how you can prepare. Now I am showing this here. First, let perform the bromination. Since exo side is less hindered, bromination will occur from the exo side. And next, if you treat it with base, that I have discussed for the second method for epoxide formation, it is like that. Now since you are treating with sodium hydroxide and there is no other way, instead of attacking from the endo side, so epoxide OH minus will attack this bromonium ion from the endo side, and it will open up this bromonium ion. and in the further step OH minus will abstract a proton, and this it will generate O minus that will attack here and will eliminate the bromide. So the formed epoxide now will be endo, and it will be formed as the major product. Is it okay? Now let's see epoxidation for Decalin system. Now if you try to epoxide such transdecalin system, from the geometry of transdecalin you can see that the above face and below face of the olefin is similarly sterically filled. So parasite can attack from above the plane or below the plane with similar probability, and will give both isomer in equal proportion, since both side of attack is favorable. But in case of cisdecalin, since the attack from the below face will feel steric repulsion with this chair form of cyclohexane, and here is axially oriented hydrogen atom, it will feel steric repulsion with this hydrogen atom as well as this chair form of cyclohexane. So below attack is not favorable, and for attack from the above face is sterically favorable, since it will feel only steric repulsion with this equatorially oriented hydrogen atom. So the major product will be epoxide from above the plane. Here the drawing is performed in a 2D paper, but if you can imagine is 3-dimensional way using ball stick model, you can say that why this, you can confirm that why this attack is favorable, not this side attack. Okay, and in this case this will be the major product, and the product corresponding to this attack will be formed in very less amount. Now if you consider this transdecalin system, you can see if you treat it with MCPBA, you can see that since a larger bulky size methyl group is above the plane, so epoxide cannot attack from the above the plane, and the attack will be favorable from less sterically hindered below face, and the product will be like this. Now the thing is, if you treat such epoxide with a nucleophile, now the question is where the nucleophile will attack and open up this epoxide bond. This can attack, the nucleophile can attack here or it will attack here. I will discuss it that the orientation of nucleophilic attack and opening of epoxide in presence of acidic condition and basic condition at the last of this chapter. Before that, we will see some other examples of epoxidation. Now if we consider the reactivity of olefin, we will say since the epoxidizing agent, the parasite, is electrophilic epoxidizing agent, so with increasing the electron density within the olefin, the rate of epoxidation will increase. From ethylene to, as we proceed this side, we are introducing methyl group to the olefin, and it will increase the electron density, so epoxidation rate will be favorable with increasing the electron donating group. So it will react faster, then it will decreases as this. Since these three are doubly substituted, the rate will be more or less similar. There will be slight difference, and this will be the least reactive. Is it okay? Now if we consider the chemoselectivity, and if we try to perform the epoxidation reaction for such olefin, you will see that only more substituted olefin will be epoxidized. If the epoxidation occurs from below the phase, the methyl group will be above the plane. Now this is a very important question. If we perform the epoxidation reaction for such olefin where at allylic position there is OH and in the other case in allylic position there is OAC. In this case you will get both the product, since it will exert steric repulsion, so paracid will attack from below the phase and will give this as a major product. But in case of allylic alcohol, if you perform the epoxidation, you will get that the epoxide which is formed at the same phase of the OH group is formed as the major isomer. It is formed near about 92%, and the other isomer is minor isomer and it is formed only 8%. Then what is the reason of this? Now if we draw this olefin, you can see that OH is above the plane, so OH is here. When the paracid is coming, I am just symbolizing the phenyl group as R. There will be interaction with this, and since this is acidic proton, it will form hydrogen bonding with this oxygen atom, and this hydrogen bonding will favor the attack of the paracid from the same phase in which the OH is directed. You can write the OH like this. There will be hydrogen bonding with this oxygen, so it will favor the attack of the paracid from the same phase as that of the OH, and so the epoxide is forming from the same phase and it is observed as a major product. But in case of OAC, there is no such hydrogen bonding, since there is no acidic proton in OAC, so there is no such hydrogen bonding, and the selectivity of paracid attack will be mainly depending on the steric repulsion experienced with this OAC group. Since it is not so much larger group, so both the isomer is forming in relatively percentage. Do you got it? Now let's discuss the opening of epoxide in presence of acid and basic condition. Now let us take a epoxide like this. If you are given a nucleophile, it can attack at this position to open up this epoxiding in this orientation, or it can attack at this position to open up this epoxiding in this orientation. Now the opening of this epoxiding will depend on the condition given in the reaction medium. It can open in presence of acid, that is, in presence of acid, first the epoxide oxygen will get protonated, now due to such protonation, this carbon oxygen or this carbon oxygen bond becomes more polarized, and so it will become delta positive and it will also become delta positive. Now if you are given a nucleophile, the nucleophile can attack at this carbon atom or at this carbon atom. The selectivity of the attack will depend upon the stability of the carbocation generated for these two cases. Now if this carbon oxygen bond breaks in this fashion, then the generated carbocation will be 3 degree, but if the carbon oxygen bond opens in this fashion, then the carbocation generated will be 2 degree. Since 3 degree carbocation is more stable than the 2 degree, so carbon oxygen bond will break in this fashion and nucleophile will attack at this carbon atom, and the orientation of the nucleophile and OH group will be trans. So if the nucleophile attacks from below the plane, then the OH group in the final compound will be above the plane. So this will be the final product for the ring opening of epoxide in presence of acid. Now this step is the rate determining step, the opening of the epoxide ring, and the order of the reaction is between SN1 and SN2. Since before the attack of the nucleophile, this center does not become completely carbocation, so this reaction is not completely SN1. And on the other way, since nucleophile cannot attack in SN2 fashion at this sterically crowded site, so this reaction is also not purely SN2 type. Since this carbon-oxygen bond is polarized and delta positive charge is generated here, and this oxygen atom will also gain some electron density for this carbon-oxygen bond, so there will be polarization in the carbon-oxygen bond. So the nature of the reaction will be between SN1 and SN2. Now if this epoxide is treated with a nucleophile in presence of base, such that the nucleophile is like this, ROH or RSH. In presence of base, the base will abstract the acidic proton from the nucleophile and it will make this nucleophile as a beta nucleophile, and it will attack in SN2 fashion at the less sterically hindered carbon-oxygen bond, and the epoxide will open up in this orientation. In this case also, the orientation of the nucleophile and the O- will be anti to each other. If the nucleophile attacks from below the plane, O- will be above the plane. And in the next step, it will abstract one proton from the solvent or nucleophile to form the ring open product. This is in presence of base, basic ring opening. So in summary, we can say that in presence of acid, the epoxide ring will open in such a orientation in which a more stable carbocation is generated and nucleophile will attack at that carbon atom, and in presence of base, the nucleophile will attack at the less hindered position of the epoxide in SN2 fashion, and the reaction nature is SN2 type to give the desired ring open product, and the orientation of the epoxide oxygen and the attacking nucleophile will be trans to each other. And here I want to mention that epoxide ring opening will be always trans diaxial ring opening. Will be always trans diaxial. That means the nucleophile will attack at the epoxide carbon atom in trans diaxial orientation. That is, in the final product, the epoxide oxygen and the nucleophile will be transaxial to each other. Is it clear? So today I will stop here, otherwise the video will become lengthier. In the next lecture I will discuss about the stereoselectivity of epoxide ring opening for cyclohexane epoxide system containing substituent within the ring, and in case of Decalin system, and with many other important examples. If you like this video, then please share it and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.